Preparing to live stream.
You can start the YouTube.
Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Your
Some
voice is not
voice.
clear.
Can we start YouTube after some time?
Your voice is also already it's live. It's showing live. Can you see the? Can you see?
Live. I will check in my channel. I will check in my channel. Wait a minute. Okay. I think it will come. No problem. Dr. Arshi ma'am, you can check. No problem.
What? Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Should I come to Zoom?
So what I will do is that I would leave the wait a minute. Option to you. Wait a minute. Escape.
Dr. Deepu, how to go again on the Zoom option?
For you or for Arshi ma'am?
For me, because I can't see the window of Zoom.
Okay. You just go on the upper part. Actually, in your laptop now, it is there. You just open the. Okay. Okay. The live is going on. Okay. We started the live actually. The live is ready now.
I can't see the Zoom.
Dr. Sonal. Hello. Dr. Sonal.
Yes.
No problem that you can see it. You just when you are talking now. I think Dr. Arshi ma'am, by that time, you just share your screen. I will make Dr. Sonal visible to the audience. No problem. After that, Dr. Arshi ma'am can share the screen. Okay. Hello. Yes. It's very clear now.
Okay. Dr. Deepu, I can't go to the Zoom side. Can you help? I can't see the screen. I can't now see the Zoom screen. Now I'm on YouTube. Facebook बंद केलं. YouTube वर लाईव्ह आहे. आता मला पुन्हा Zoom.
Arshi ma'am, is it okay now?
What? I'm not able.
No. Actually, your voice is okay. Actually, your video just little bit network issue. Not that much. Okay. In the beginning part, you just stop screen sharing, and you can come on the video. Okay.
Wait 1 minute. It's kind of frozen. This thing is not able to move. Wait 1 second.
Okay, fine, fine.
1 second. Let me check.
Sia.
Dr. Sonal, please make Dr. Sugesh a co-host.
Yes, I did. So,
Okay, so
shall
we can start by sharp
8:30.
8:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Till that time, take people in the Zoom, right?
Yeah. The YouTube live is still going on now.
Yes, it's going on. YouTube live is showing.
Okay, fine. Okay then. Okay, fine.
Okay, so
I am hearing my own voice after some time. Is it okay?
That is
Yeah.
because you
It is good.
you open the YouTube actually. So you just close it. Okay, just stop the YouTube screen. Okay.
yes, it's going on. It's going on. YouTube live is showing. Okay, fine. Okay then. Okay.
Should I stop YouTube stream or not?
Don't do anything, ma'am. Please, just go like that. Okay, please don't do anything.
Yeah, because my connection seems to be very weak today. No, my connection. ठीक है यूट्यूब चैनल का मारी लेकिन जीवन के साथ नहीं कर रहा है
Doctor, so can we start now?
Yeah, we can start.
Okay, fine.
Should I start now?
Yeah. You can start, no problem.
I can still listen my voice on YouTube. Can we? Should I switch it off from the YouTube again?
You just don't listen to it. Just start. Okay. After that,
Yeah.
you can reduce your volume. Okay. Fine.
Sure. uh, Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth webinar session of Illuminaire. I'm myself Dr. Sonal Maste. I am a director of Maharashtra School of Homeopathy, IHMA, and this is a fourth webinar. And the best thing which has happened in this lockdown is all the homeopathy group like Shankaran group and the predictive and all the variety of HHF, all the group has come under one roof. And this has happened only because of the IHMA Kerala officials and the coordinators. So I thank you all for this. And in the now we will just do. Dr. Deepu has sent me a beautiful poem that I am just going to read it out in the memory of Dr. Hanneman. So this is in the remembrance of Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, uh, to the one which is not present today between us, to the one which is a master of all hearts, our hearts, to the one whom we call our master Hahnemann, to the one who was vitalist, to the one who was a master of observations, to the one who was master of languages, to the one who gave us art of science of healing, to the one who dedicated his whole life for curing and suffering humanity, to the one who dare and fought with the odds and to serve humanity, to the one who stood against the orthodox inimical of that time, to the one who gave.
Dr. Sonal, can you just unmute yourself? Dr. Sonal, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
To the one who stood against the orthodox inimical practice of that time, to the one who gives us.
Your voice is muting, ma'am. Your voice is muted, ma'am.
Now it is okay?
Yeah, it is okay. Okay.
It's okay. So we'll just have a 1 minute pause in the remembrance of Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. Let us introduce today's speaker, Dr. Arshi Tank. She is with us today. And I have with me Dr. Neha Shah, who is a member of IHMA South Mumbai group. So I'll just, Neha, just say hi to everyone.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good evening, Dr. Arshi.
Good evening, Neha.
Mommy. Mommy.
Dr. Neha, you can introduce, no problem.
Hello. Yeah, hi. I'm Dr. Neha Shah from IHMA South Mumbai chapter. You can continue, Doctor.
Fine. Hello. So something about Dr. Arshi. She is a CMP college student, passed from the college 20 years ago. She did her PG in FCAH, Other Song Academy. With her easy, relaxed case taking, she has an innate ability to take to the patient's core and then pick the exact rubric that define him. Her cases are like listening stories, the unfold beautifully. This time she is going to present a unique case of bird. We have we have seen batch flower remedies, we have seen snake, we have seen metal group, everything, but this is something unique which you are going to experience today. And she is going to put a focus on how our mistakes leads to a new remedies. So over to you, Dr. Arshi, and please start your session. I'm unmute.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. And thank you for all joining in. And today, unlike other sessions where we have the webinars where we show our successes, so we show how beautifully we took the case and then how we came to the right remedy, and it was a happily ever after story. But here today, I would like to share my failure cases with you. Through this case, I would like to show you how I struggled with this case. In fact, this is a true story. True story meaning all of us have these challenges, all of us have difficulties, but we only kind of pick our successful cases and highlight those. In fact, I feel that the real learning comes from our failures. So when we fail, so many times. So in this case, you will see that how I failed with this case over and over again over many years till the patient actually left me, and then how by still persisting we could reach to the remedy. So there is a lot of learning along the way which I feel would be useful. So let me start by the I am sharing my screen. I would like to take you to the case right away. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is clear.
Yes. Yeah. So I'll start with the case. So a 28-year-old lady came to see me in 2013. Now, this lady had numerous physical problems. She would get tonsillitis often, she would have digestive issues, acidity, heartburn. She said that the burning was so bad that she had to think before she ate anything. She could only tolerate simple food. With slightest errors in diet, she would get indigestion, burning, burping, and bloating. She also had psoriasis. There were itchy patches on her underarm, thighs. When she would scratch so hard, there would be some watery oozing from the patches. They would increase for no apparent reason, and at times they were manageable but always there. Regarding her temperament, she said, I get angry very easily, especially when people advise me. I do not like to be preached. I hate advice. I feel if I need suggestions, I will ask you. But I don't understand why people like to preach all the time. I detest it. I asked her to speak more on this, and she answered, Doctor, my confidence level is not great. I do not mix easily with people. Though I know I am good, I get bouts of self-doubt. I am self-critical. I always feel other people are better than me. Normally, I am reserved, but sometimes I want to speak a lot, but I feel choked. I work as an art teacher in an international school. I do not like teaching the kids. I am not very good with them. They scatter the colors. They do not listen to me, which makes me impatient. I do not like the 7 to 5 job, but I think I shall be stuck with this job forever. I love to draw. I wish to do freelancing work, but I like the motivation. I have that inertia. I am not comfortable with all people. I get defensive for slightest of things. Every small issue, I take it in a negative way. I get stressed at problems and I panic. I get mood swings. Sometimes I am happy, but soon my moods dip for no particular reason. Since childhood, I am like this only, grumpy. Even my relatives would remark that she is never happy and is grumpy all the time. Why is this so? Then I asked her about her childhood. That I wanted to find out how did she become this grumpy person. In childhood, she replied, I was reserved and irritable. I would play by myself. I did not have many friends. My father passed away when I was in 5th grade, and that shook me. I would get angry when, after his death, people would come to me to sympathize. My mother's nature is relaxed and easy. I don't know why I am this way. I was tomboyish. In school, I had an inferiority complex since I was fat. I wanted to be slim. I was angry with myself and others. In college, things were better. I was in a hostel. I did things on my own. I was independent, which increased my confidence level. I am creative, but very moody. After marriage, things did not change. My in laws live close to our place. My mother in law is a nice lady, but I do not like it when she advises me. I feel I should do it the way I want to. If I need your advice, I shall ask you. My husband is good, but for small things I pick up fight with him. I think it is because of the dissatisfaction in the job. But then again, I have never been a happy person. I realize I fight with him for no apparent reason. He tells me to calm down, but my ego prevents me from ceasing to get angry. I feel choked, claustrophobic in life. I am stuck. There is some fear, I do not know what. On asking more about her fears, feeling of claustrophobia, she did not describe much. Then I asked her about her dreams, hoping I would get an entry somewhere. She said, in my dream, I feel I am blind. My eyes are getting weak. There are spirits. There is an old person. He is seeing spirits. I can also see spirits. I am very scared in the dream. I want to shout out for help, but my voice does not come out. I blabber in sleep. I am trembling in my spine. It is an eerie feeling. Now, based on whatever she told me, I simply picked up the rubrics. This is what I normally do. So when anybody finishes their narration, I want to encapsulate, whatever she said and then convert them into rubrics. So the rubrics for her I picked were confidence, want of self, which was very evident because she was inconfident, anger easily, irritability easily, anger oneself with, which was very clear because we could see that she would get angry so often. Sensitive, reprimands, reproaches too. This she mentioned a couple of times. Fear of narrow places and claustrophobia. Dreams of ghosts and specters. Dreams, nightmares. Her mood was changeable and variable. She was a little temperamental. She was reserved, and there was weakness of will, and she lacks willpower to undertake anything. Also, I had this thing at the back of my mind that she had lost her father in childhood, which shook her up. It was a little rattling for her. So, based on whatever I perceived, I gave her Ignatia. Okay. Now, the follow up. After I saw her a month later, she reported that the skin rash and the itching was the same. There was itching in the groins, and she had noticed some warts. There was heaviness in the left side of abdomen. The motions were frequent. There were dandruff and itchiness of the scalp. She complained of tiredness around the eyes. Mentally, she felt discouraged. She was irritated for having to deal with the kids in her class. She was upset with herself for not being able to manage her work well. She had a dream of being stuck in an elevator. She was trying hard to open it but could not. There was a feeling of frustration and fear of not being able to breathe. In another dream, she had to go to the washroom urgently, but she was scared of being locked inside. Hence, she left the door open. In the dream, then, I asked her what was the feeling. She said that there was a feeling of embarrassment and fear. What if someone comes? I asked her if she could collect any incident where she had felt claustrophobic earlier. So I wanted to understand why she gets this frequent feeling of claustrophobia. She said once she had been to watch a match at the stadium and was stuck in the crowd. Her mother tried to pull her out. It was a horrible experience for her, and she felt lack of breath and suffocation at the time. She was gasping for breath and she wanted to shout. After that incident, in any uncomfortable situation, she feels the same. Again, I repeated Ignatia, since all the rubrics again were being covered, including the feeling of embarrassment of which she spoke this time. Moreover, I thought it would be too early to change the remedy. Her follow up, a fortnight later. She said that the warts had increased, itching was more or less the same, the abdomen pain was slightly better. She was about to get her periods. Mentally, she felt disgusted. She normally felt so before her periods. She was cranky, irritated. There were a lot of unnecessary negative thoughts. Her school was closed due to vacations, hence she was home. She was planning to quit her job and start the classes at home. But again, she felt that now the kids would come home, they would make such a lot of noise. She dreaded the thought of taking the class at home. Also, she lacked motivation to start the classes. She repeated that she could not be happy. Something or the other would happen which did not let her feel happy. She said she wanted to come out, feel free, but the negative emotions pulled her back. She felt her mind had overpowered her. She complained of pain in the right shoulder and throbbing pain in the left heel. She also had a dream that she had turned bald, which scared her. Now, this time, I gave her China. Because of the rubrics, there was a constant feeling of being hindered and persecuted, that this has been going on and on. There was constant complaint. So, and also I took the rubric theorizing because of, she said, what if the children will come home and they will create such a lot of noise? And she was kind of theorizing in her mind, which actually didn't happen. She dwelt on unpleasant past experiences. Now I was stuck because after China too, she was not better. This went on for a couple of months. There was no change. Constantly, she kept the same feeling of being fearful. Her dreams were scary. I tried my best to get deeper, but she kept coming back to the same stories, same complaints. I could not get any characteristic physical symptoms also. Now, during this time, I gave her nitrogen because of the feeling of claustrophobia, need to be free. Frankly, I was not even thinking. I was just listening to her complaints and, okay, maybe this could help her. And I gave her nitrogen, but didn't help. Then I also tried Thuja, thinking maybe it could act as an intercurrent. There were warts, at least there would be some shift or the case would open up, but no avail. Then I also, out of desperation, I gave her Culex, which is a mosquito, because of the constant Malarian miasm. Culex has this thing where there is constant buzzing like a mosquito. You know how mosquitoes are very irritating. And I got the same feel when she would come to the clinic, always complaining and always the same set of problems. Nothing happened. But nothing moved, but she did. She discontinued her treatment after a year. I saw her again in 2016 after 3 years. She visited me for her 6-month-old daughter. When her daughter recovered from mild pneumonia with homeopathic medicines, she said she wished to give another try for her condition, which was the same as we had left it, only being managed temporarily with intermittent allopathic help. This time, I was determined. As my teachers have taught me, I thought I will just listen to her patiently. I do not have to be under the pressure to find her remedy. I will just listen and try to understand her. So then she started. This was her history. She said, I am the same, I guess, and I shall always be the same. Grumpy, unhappy girl. In fact, after the birth of my daughter, I feel I am trapped. Whatever little freedom I had earlier is also not there. I keep worrying about her. She gets ill often. Sometimes she gets constipated. She wakes up at night shouting. I am forever on her case. My mother tells me I keep looking for issues. That is why she remains unwell. I feel it too. I am constantly fretting over her meals, feed, and sleep. That's what I keep doing the whole day. I can't take things easy. Then, when my husband comes home, I get irritated at him. Many instances, I have an outburst. I am frustrated. Where do I leave her? I do not have time for myself. I feel drained. I cannot multitask. There is so much work to do. My mother in law advises me on what to feed her so that her immunity increases. I get very irritated. At times, I feel I am not a good mother. I am very impatient. I am frustrated being at home all the time. I had been working for so many years. Therefore, I find all the household work irritating. Sometimes I just feel like going away from all this. In addition to the skin problems, I am getting a lower back pain since I have to carry her. I do not have any dreams these days since I am so tired and I do not know when I fall asleep. This time I was very happy and I said, Yes, I have nailed it. It is sepia. She also gave me the classical back pain. So I was very pleased. But again, not better. Again, she said, after stopping the allopathic medicines, my skin has started getting worse. There is a cream colored discharge. It is itchy. I get very irritated. Something or the other keeps happening. I did the art of living course, but instead of feeling better, I'm getting all the more agitated. The other day, I had an argument with my husband, which made me very angry. He was telling me how I should take care of my child, for which I flared up. As I told you earlier, I do not like being told how to do things or being criticized. Also, I was angry that this is not right. He does not help me in any way, yet he keeps preaching. Now, this time, instead of listening to her story again, all over again, the same story, I tried to zero in and I asked her, Now describe your anger. Just describe what you feel when you're angry. She answered, It is very intense. When someone shouts at me, I feel, Why is he trying to dominate me? I feel stuck and suffocated. It makes me very angry. I get transformed into an absolutely different person. My whole energy changes. I am not in control of myself. I am fearful when this happens to me. My whole body gets transformed into something beyond my control. My whole energy changes. I cannot be pacified then, and I lash out. I am loud and I have impulse to throw things. When I asked her, what is the feeling? Talk about this stuck and suffocated feeling. Then she said, it is like someone has put me in a box. I feel a band around my head which is pressing onto my head so bad that my brain will burst. I cannot control myself. I behave wildly. I want to shout, to hell with the rules, as if my mind has taken over my entire being. I feel powerless and weak. I feel acidic, suffocation, fear of being in the box. I start weeping uncontrollably. All I want to do is see the sky go out and then I shall feel better. I do get such a feeling occasionally. Once we had gone to Rajasthan and we were seeing a fort. In the narrow passageway, suddenly I felt I could not breathe. I felt choked and suffocated. I quickly ran out into the open and took a few deep breaths. When I saw the sky outside, I felt much better. I had a very strange yet strong feeling there when I was in the fort. I felt that I had been there before. I had a vague feeling that probably I was trapped in the narrow rooms there. That distressing feeling of suffocation, the band like headache, and wanting to see the sky, to get out. It felt very uncomfortable yet very familiar. Then I asked her about her dreams. What dreams do you get? I asked her. She said, I was getting married. In the dream, I was getting married to an 8-year-old child. And I asked her what was the feeling in the dream, for which she said, I felt, I felt that I was angry and upset at my father and asked him, how could you do this? I was angry with my father and said that just because he's my father, he cannot be controlling my life. I also felt now I am trapped in this relationship and how I can break my marriage. I also dream of something happening to my daughter. Either she is hurt or has fallen off the cot. Now, I had seen this lady so many times earlier, but for the first time, she had connected so well with her innermost feeling. Now, based on whatever now I understood when she talked at the deeper level, this was my understanding of the case. This lady always had that the feeling that she was trapped and hindered. She was always discontented and fretful. Because she was not able to have her will, and she had a strong sense of independence. She did not like to be dominated and told what to do, which made her feel humiliated and undervalued. She was anxious about her child, but at the same time felt hindered and very angry to the point of rage, where she had to compromise her freedom. At the core, she experienced the feeling as a sense of suffocation and needing to be free. Now, based on this understanding, now I picked up her rubrics, which were delusion hindered. Remember, I had given her China because this was a very constant feeling, that malarial miasm all the time, that constant nagging complaint, ailments from domination. She did not like to be dominated. Her anger was cold and detached. There was rage, fury, cursing with, indignation, rage with, because she got into the stage of rage when she felt that she was insulted. Anxiety, children about his. She was anxious for her daughter all the time. Now, see the rubrics which follow. Escape desires to family and children from her. This is sepia. Duty, aversion to domestic duty. She didn't like to do the household chores, which is again sepia. Confidence, want of self-confidence. Injustice cannot support. Fear of narrow place and claustrophobia. Fear of suffocation. She felt suffocated that was a constant complaint. She wanted freedom, and there was dreams of being trapped and dreams of accidents. Now, this time the remedy which I gave was falcon, Falco P. Now let us see the story of the falcon. Who is the Who is the falcon? The falcon has been regarded as a mystical bird and often a messenger from another world. Although it is not the largest or rarest of the birds, it has always been regarded by the falconers as the noble bird or the gentle bird. It is a bird of prey and it is trained systematically for the hunt. Now let us see the falcon in action.
Falcons are in our DNA. They run in our bloods. The falcons makes even a bond between me and my son. They're part of what we are. My name is Hamdan Ahmed Mujran. I'm a falconer. I'm from Dubai. The falcon is the icon of our country. It's even on our passport. Falconry is a part of our heritage. My grandfather and grandfather, they used to hunt with it. These days, they make competition of falcons. It's basically like the drag race. It's a quarter mile, 400 meter. You release your falcon from point A to B. The fastest falcon cross this distance is the winner. I had a bird last year that got 15 seconds. This is the best time in falconry. While you're training, you have to learn how to make this bird put the full effort from your fist to the guy who's calling it. Chasing the plane or chasing the drone, it's a good exercise for the falcon. This is one technology which I think took us to the next level of training the falcon. It is much easier, much faster, because we can train 20, 30 birds in a row. We have hundreds of birds. I love them all, yes, but some of them, they are special. Their character is different. They're smart, they're clever, they're aggressive. We train the birds every day, morning and evening, non-stop. There's no resting in it. I feel proud of it. I learned this sport of falconry through my father and my brothers. I remember the first falcon I got when I was 4 years old. I cannot forget this day. This is maybe the best day of my life. I'm thinking, could I pass it to my son or not? Because this generation is different with their iPad and other stuff. But luckily, I managed to. He loved it by nature. So I'm very happy he is attached to it. He started training real birds when he was a little bit more than 2 years old. When I watch him at home, he's basically all of the time playing with a falcon toy. The fact that my son does love this hobby makes us proud, all of us, not only me, the whole family. We're happy that our children are still attached to this hobby. So our heritage is still going through us and through our children.
We'll see one more.
Just south of LA, the cliffs are home to the fastest animal on Earth. A living missile, the peregrine falcon. Her eyesight is so sharp, she can pick out prey more than 1 kilometer away. The size of a crow, speed is her weapon. With her wings tucked in, she dives at speeds of 300 kilometers per hour. A kill in midair. Her chicks beg constantly for food. but she is torn between feeding hungry mouths and guarding the nest. Anything that passes too close, she views as a threat. Five times her body weight, the brown pelicans ignore her warnings. A dangerous mistake. She scrambles to intercept. A yank on the face throws the hapless pelican off balance. One down. She circles back for the rest. A skillful bill flick takes care of another. But while she's seeing off the pelicans, a real threat is making its way towards the nest. A gopher snake. Skillful climbers, they hunt up and down these sandstone cliffs and would make an easy meal of an unprotected falcon chick. But nothing escapes her eye. A single strike with her talons is all it takes. Predators will need to be faster than that to come between this mother and her brood.
So we saw the falcon in action. So what happens? Let us listen to the story of the falcon. The reason we need to understand how the falcon is trained and how what it goes through in its life gives us a lot of reasons why these similar themes come up in the provings. So the story of the falcon is such that the young bird, what happens is the small baby birds, when the falcon baby birds, they are kept in a state of semi-freedom called a hack till their wings are fully grown. Now there are leather bands which are called jesses, and they are like a it is this is something heavy which is tied to their feet, and it is attached to a cord, like a kind of a tail which prevents it from flying. So these are worn at all times so that the birds cannot fly away. What happens is the bird is left in semi darkness without food for a considerable period of time. After a long time, when the bird is exhausted and is starving, what is done is that it is offered a morsel of meat on the gloved fist. Now, the falconer, as you can in the picture, you can see the gloved fist, and this is the long string, which is the jessie, which I just spoke, is attached to the feet. Now, the falconer comes, it gets habituated to land on the gloved hand of the falconer, and then it gets its meat, its food, because it has been starving. So now, and how the falcon is trained. Now what happens is when this bird, again after it is hungry, it is taken out of the darkness, and then it is the like we saw in that Dubai video earlier. What happens is, through the drones or or things, they just put that piece of meat onto the drone and it is just taken away from there, so the bird kind of flies to get it. and it is, it moves around in circles, and as a reward to its flight, it catches the meat, and then it has to come back onto the hand of the falconer. So like you said, like we've seen that the falcon catches the meat, and then when the falconer blows a whistle, it returns to the gloved hand of its master. So that is the training that is done. So when the falcon is trained, a padded leather hood is put onto its head to prevent it from distraction, so that it doesn't get distracted and is only looking at the meat. So during the proving, therefore, we observe that the patients feel a band-like sensation on their head. Now, what happens is, if the bird flies far enough not to be able to hear the sound of the whistle, it will be free. But because of the training, it remains in the loop and allows the domination and is just not able to break free even when it can. Like in the videos, we see it is a magnificent bird. In fact, while designing the aircrafts, I read up a story that they've had issues in landing. How could they make the plane, which is flying at a very high speed, to land? That's stoop. So they tried to understand how falcon, who's flying at a very high altitude and with great speeds, and how it, when we saw that missile video, it kind of folds its wings in a manner when it and is able to fly down. So the whole flight action of the falcon was studied while they were designing the landing mechanism of the aircraft. So this is the magnificent bird, and so it has a lot of capability of flying away from the trap, but it does not realize that it can actually do so. Now, falcon was proved by Misha Norland, and the core feeling, it is a bird of prey, like we saw, and the core feeling of the falcon is a feeling of being dominated and the need to break free from this domination. Although the need for freedom is common to birds in general, it finds its most intense expression in the falcon in the form of resistance to subjugation or domination by another. Now, there are in falcon, if you look, there are more than 600 rubrics. There are a lot of rubrics in the proving. So the way you can understand a remedy is by grouping these under themes. Let me show you how. See, in domination, there is a lot of theme of domination in falcon. So this is brought about by the following rubrics. So there is abuse ailments from childhood, and abuse ailments from sexual, raped ailments from fear ailments from being. So delusion dominated he's persecuted, he feels hindered. Delusion horse he is reined in, wild stallion that desires to be free. Now this rubric needs to be understood well, because what happens if, for those of you who are familiar with the sensation method, what happens is when we ask the patient to describe the feeling of this domination, to describe what he is feeling, then they might, they express that as if I am a horse and someone has tied me to a rope and I just want to break that and just go away free. So we might be tempted to think, oh, this might be a horse remedy, lack equinum, because domination, that animal theme, and wants to be free. But in what mistake we do is that we need to encapsulate the feeling. What exactly the patient wants is the feeling in the whole situation, because images could be many, but we need to see the feeling there. Here delusion influence is under a powerful, because he does not have that freedom. He is under the influence of somebody, like we saw coming again. The reason for understanding the story of the falcon is we see he's under the influence of the falconer. He's dependent or caged by the falconer. So delusion prisoner, he is superhuman control he is under. He can be attacked anytime. So therefore, he has a lot of problems from the domination. He does not like to be dominated. So dreams of being abused, dreams of being beaten, dreams of children, babies dead, because in the provings, the falcons, the babies are kept together in darkness. A lot of falcons together, they are starved, and they remain in that condition for for a lot of time. Hence, in the proving, all these symptoms also come up very strongly. There are dreams of being murdered, of being trapped. And what does it want? It wants to escape from this domination, escape freedom, desire for, escape desire to family and children from home, house, aversion to be kept in. And he wants to get out of the house, and there is fear of suffocation. He wants to drive the car fast and travel desire to. I have another case of falcon of a young boy, which he always says that he feels dominated by his father, and whenever there is a fight in the house, or if his father tries to say something to him, he just wants to get out of the house, and he says, I just grab the car keys and I just want to go out for a drive. So there is anger. There is a lot of theme of, obviously, the one who is dominated, there will be a lot of anger in the proving. So, and what is the nature of the anger? There's a cold, hard anger, especially at anything that is perceived as a restraint. So the type of anger is cold and detached. It is violent. It is anger, touch, aggravate. Touch, in other words, we can also say, meaning if you just tell him one simple harmless word, he has the capability to get angry. So touch, we always, when we are understanding the mind rubrics, if we take it in a slightly different meaning, it doesn't necessarily mean that physical touch, meaning mentally also, if it's just a small, somebody telling you, you can fly into a rage. So rage, cursing with, fury, biting with. There is indignation, rage with. There is a feeling of being humiliated and indignation. There is a lot of violence, and the patient is very obstinate and headstrong, and he wants to kind of mutilate his body. He has the tendency to do that. Maybe mutilate his body could mean not necessarily, it could be striking himself or beating his head against the wall. These gestures also, we can take it as mutilate his body, actually harming himself. There is a feeling of being, a lack of feeling, coldness, an indifferent attitude. There is an unfeeling, hard-heartedness, family, friends with he's unsympathetic, delusion, ice queen, she is. Ice queen means that she is, she can be so cold and indifferent and hard, and she does not feel a thing. So this is the kind of anger. For the falcon, the opinion of others is very important. Due to the despite the strong will of the falcon, the proving brought out a strong desire for the good opinion of others. Falcon gives up its freedom for acceptance, admiration, and food. So why is this happens is it is mentioned in the provings that the image of the falcon on the gloved hand of the falconer, tethered yet free, is a striking metaphor for this aspect, which means that the falcon is dependent on the falconer for food. So that's why it wants to do well, whatever task the falconer sets out for him, whether it is getting the meat, coming back when it blows the whistle, he wants that good opinion from the falconer. So the rubrics suggestive of this are timidity, company in, timidity, public about appearing in, opinion of others, longing for good, fear, approaching others of, please others, desires to, and appreciation, desires. Now there is a lot of giving up of the will. How? Because after the struggle and the anger, there is a stage where the patient gives up will. So there is discouragement, resignation, he is disgusted with himself. There is despair, recovery of, meaning, and there is things, everything is lost, there is no use trying. Because you can imagine when for someone who's trapped and stopped very badly after trying to making a lot of effort to get out of the get freedom, when he's not able to do that, he feels that the walls are falling inward, meaning he's kind of completely trapped and there is nothing else that he can do about it. So he's trapped, the world is disintegrated. He has a shield around him, iron shield. Iron shield meaning he is trapped in such a manner that he cannot break free. Iron shield, if somebody is trapped with an iron shield around him, obviously he has no way to get free from it. So this is the feeling he has. Okay. So there is, because of that, then it gets fear, panic attacks, and then gradually he becomes mild and reconciled to fate. What is going to happen will happen. He's tired of struggling. And then there is tranquility, serenity, calmness, reconciling to fate. This is the last stage. So now we also see this coming up. Obviously, when these are the physical manifestations, there will also be some kind of paralysis, feeling of paralysis in the body. So there is interesting physical symptoms that suggest heaviness, tired limbs. There is looseness, sensation of joints. There is numbness, insensibility of the extremities. There is stiffness, trembling, and unsteadiness, and a sense of weakness. Now, the falcon, as we saw in the video earlier, that it also has a lot of care for the family. Birds, as a species, are known to care for their family. So there is lot of care and anxiety for the children. Now, of the bird species, hawk is the one who has a lot of sense of duty and caring for the family. This here, it is lesser than the hawk, but the concern for family is secondary to his own need for freedom. There is also this desire to escape from the family, which becomes a restriction. What actually happens is he cares for the family, he has all the good feelings for his family, but when it starts compromising on his freedom, that he feels bound by, whatever the household responsibilities, then he wants to just break away and go away. So the state that encapsulates this is anxiety, children about his, anxiety, family about his, anxiety, conscience of, anxiety, others for, loved ones for. He likes to be with children, he has dreams of babies and children, but at the same time, as we saw, when there is too much responsibility, he wants to escape desire from family and children from her. He cannot bear it anymore. The escape desires to, house wants to get out of, estranged family from her, estranged wife from his. So we I saw her a month later. Initially, a minute, yes. I saw her a month later. Initially, the skin was very itchy. Now she says now it is settled. Around 10 to 20%, she was better. And she had an attack of tonsillitis with fever. And she said, I have got this after a very long time. It lasted for 3 days. Acidity is less. And I have been careful with food, she says. Again, she had an argument with her husband. I was very angry at him, she said. Now I have started keeping my daughter at a daycare center for a couple of hours while I finish my work. In this way, I get some time for myself. My husband tells me, everyone takes care of their children. Why can't you take care of their baby? That's the reason we have arguments. I get very angry at him. And then she also mentioned a dream that her daughter is not willing to go to the daycare center. She's howling, and I don't know how to handle her. I repeated Falco P 200 once. Earlier also, I had given her a single dose of Falco P 200. Another month passed by. The patches are still there. They are itchy when I go to sleep. I do get acidity if I'm not careful with food. I'm thinking of taking up a job. I hate to ask my husband for money. Now that my daughter is comfortable at the daycare, I want to work, but I fear going back to working at the school again. Again, I know I shall get irritated. I cannot handle children well. Also, how will I manage home and work? I'm not able to take a decision. My daughter had been unwell and cranky. I would get impatient dealing with her. I did get some dreams, but I cannot recollect them. Maybe they were not as bad. And for the first time in forever, she smiled. I smiled back, handling her Saclac pills. Now, this case did take a lot of time. It has been 6 months. There are ups and downs. It is progressing at a much slower pace than I would have liked it to. In spite of the perfect remedy, she still visits me. Her skin is improving gradually. Her acidity is persisting. Though the intensity is lesser, she gets emotionally charged but is able to get over it. Her rage is also reduced to anger. The episodes of violent rage are not there anymore. Also, she has not experienced the feeling of being stuck and suffocated for all these months. Finally, she has resumed her job at the school. She may not be the happiest person yet, but she is less grumpy. So that's the reason I said we shall reach there one day gradually. So this case was a difficult case for me, as you saw, and it took a lot of my time, patience, and study. So a few thoughts while I was on this case, I was pondering on about a few things. See, when there is one thing, like we understand the story of the patient, we pick up our rubrics, that is our general format. But what happens is, in homeopathy, it always makes me wonder, it is such a beautiful science that what happens is when we reach at a deep level of our being, it is very likely that we could have some relation to our past lives. We do not know why we feel a strong connection to certain places, an unexplained sensation that is felt in every core of our being, a strong feeling of being there, of having experienced something so strongly that it is still a memory in spite of the change in the physical body. Now, for instance, in this case, when she talked about the connection she felt while she was visiting the forts in Rajasthan, so she said she felt, she had been there. I feel, this is very familiar. So what, we are nothing, I believe that, we are just fossils with imprints of our past lives, whose fragments we can retrieve when we disconnect with the present and fathom the deep recesses of our being where our true identity lies buried. Now, what do past life therapists do? The past life therapists, they take us to this level by various techniques. Because why do they do that? Since this is in this realm of this place where we are absolutely disconnected with our present day life, that the pain is dissolved and the healing occurs. The deep sense of claustrophobia, God knows where it comes from. It is deep rooted maybe in some past life connection. But when we go to that level in the course of this therapy, the mere awareness of our existence in this space has a therapeutic effect. Now, we as homeopaths, I believe we have a very precious gift, our remedies. Isn't it amazing? Our remedies have within them the soul of the source, the pure distillate of the plant, animal, or the mineral they are made of. Isn't it remarkable that a simple process involving a few strokes unleashes an entire kaleidoscope of expression? So each remedy holds within it an entire universe. And it's so amazing that we actually, when we match, the essence of this, the whatever plant mineral with whatever is experienced at the core, healing occurs. I always believe homeopathy is a fast track to all the other healing modalities. We just go there, give the remedy, and it's done. So this was the case of the falcon. So the message that it says is, let us keep our vision as piercing as that of the falcon. So I would be, before I start the second case, I would like to address if there are any queries.
Dr. Arshi, we can take it in the last, if it is okay.
That's
Both
fine. That's okay.
yeah, because then we'll have a question answer session in the last only. Yeah.
At the end of it. That
Yeah.
would be good. Okay. Yeah.
You
So
can
we'll start
start.
with a very now. So earlier was a very heavy case. Now this one will be a lighter one and a very, very beautiful case. This is a case of a singer and an actor. She had been coming to me infrequently, and she was a very beautiful young lady, very cheerful, vivacious, easygoing young lady. Whenever she would come to the clinic, she would chat up with my receptionist, and it was a very pleasant feeling when she was around. And for other her problems, she would be very fleeting meaning she would come and just talk about, okay, this problem I have, what you can give me for this, and very quick. She was hardly, she would go down into her exact state. So what happened is, I would mostly give her acutes, and on her personality I would give her like an acute episode of anything happening. the most frequent remedy which I would give her was belladonna, because of this feeling of, she was that fleety, light, and then whenever her problems would get resolved, she would just disappear and then she would never see me. And but one night, what happened is I received a call from her one night saying that she felt very sick. She had been feeling giddy, lightheaded, with nausea, vomiting, and she was very anxious. I knew from her history that only when there is an anxiety or some problem she would get such symptoms. So I asked her what was bothering her. She said, Doctor, during the lockdown, I had exhausted and wanted to share. This is a very recent case. In July, when there were rains in Mumbai. So during this time, she had shared this case. So it is a very recent one. So she said, during the lockdown, I had exhausted all my savings. Usually, my husband takes care of all the major expenses of the house. He pays the bigger bills when we go shopping for groceries to Hypercity, DMart, and I use my money to pay for small expenses like groceries or buying something for my daughter. This way, I feel I am contributing to the household expenses. But now, there is no work happening because she was in the film industry. And our industry, work is unpredictable, so I had exhausted my savings. My husband gave me his credit card and said, use this to buy whatever you need. I said, okay. And see her conversation. She was talking, she was like, my husband said this and I said this. It was like this very casual conversation, as she was not reporting anything. She was just sharing what was actually happening, the conversation. So she said, I used his card to make purchases for the essentials required for the house. During this time, there was a shoot for my upcoming music video for which I needed to buy a dress, which cost me rupees 7,000. Doctor, then she said, the dress was so beautiful, a lovely shade of red, my favorite color. Since my husband had been busy with his recording, her husband is also into music and film industry. I did not ask him and I used the money to buy the dress. I wanted to tell him that I had spent such a big amount, especially during such times where times are hard, but I did not get chance to do so. I felt I was keeping the truth away from him. I did not get the chance, or simply I could not tell him. I do not know, but that had been bothering me. Now, tomorrow I asked her, okay, this was this was what is happening, but what happened? Why all of a sudden you got this attack today? She said, tomorrow morning we had the shoot planned. The whole unit is prepared for the shooting, and they had decided on this on a very short notice because the weather would be clear and there is no clear day after this for a long time. Suddenly, I felt there is so much to do. I have no help in the house. I need to take care of my daughter. I have to get my hair done. I have to call up the makeup girl. I have to do so many other jobs with the production team. I cannot handle everything together. I am not the person who can multitask. Because of all this pressure, I felt sick. In spite of this, I do not want to cancel just because I felt sick. And I feel horrible about this. So now I felt this was a perfect time to take her case completely. Otherwise, she's always fleeting and I'd never got a chance to understand her fully. So I asked her to talk a little bit more. Then she said, Doctor, yes, I had been intending to visit you. Lately, I have been feeling a strain on my vocal cords. My voice feels tired. I do not have the throw or power when I sing. So then I asked her to describe her nature and temperament. She said, I am a very happy-go-lucky person. She said, I do not care about money so much. If I have it, I will spend freely to buy things, gifts for everyone, my family, friends. I share freely. I am not the type of person who picks on people's faults. I am friendly and I love my family, friends, even my colleagues at work. On the sets, I am always the one who would dress up last because I keep helping others. I help other actors with their makeup, doing things which are not my job. I am very passionate about my work. I want to give a good take and do a good job of whatever I have to do. The problem is that I get so involved and do so much for others that I'm not able to say no. I trust easily. I realize in our industry one can't be going all out, but I am not able to restrain myself. My friends tell me, don't do so much. At the end of the day, you are not going to get anything back. But I can't help it. I feel as if they are a part of my family. I go out with them on outings. I talk to them. I like the company, the interesting conversations I have with them. We go shopping together. I feel free, open, there is sharing, giving. I love all that. It is a truly wonderful feeling. Then I asked her about her relation with her husband. She said, my husband is very nice. He does not stop me from doing anything, even spending. But I do not feel okay if I do not have my own money that I can spend as I like. I'm very open with him. I share all my feelings with him and tell him whatever expenditure I do. I often think if I have a lot of money, I shall buy him a Ducati. Ducati is a very expensive, high end, fancy bike. So I would also like to buy a bungalow in Goa. I love the palm trees, the greenery, and yes, I would also like to buy lots and lots of dresses in all possible colors. Red, blue, green. I like bright colors and a bright life. I am not the kind who will save. I would love to spend it and live in the moment. In her generals, she had a small appetite, meaning she wanted to have small meals frequently. She likes fruits, dry fruits, nuts, spicy, and she loves the chili pickle. She wants to have it with every meal. Now, what was her understanding? Her problem started for her for when we need to understand where exactly her problems started. So her problem started when she could not tell her husband the truth about her extravagant purchase. Also, her anxiety attack was precipitated when there was a lot of work to be done and she cannot multitask. She is a communicative person. She is very passionate, honest, and she likes to give freely. She likes shopping, bright colors. She likes to spend extravagantly. And at the same time, she wants to maintain her individuality by earning and spending for her own needs. So, based on this understanding, I picked up the rubrics. Truth, truth, speak once, truth cannot. Okay, now this rubric we need to understand, which means that her problem was that she could not, there was in all intention, she wanted to tell her husband what the fact was. But her truth, she was just not able to speak the truth, meaning whatever reality or whatever she wanted to convey, she was not able to do that. Now, the other rubric is truth tells the plain. Now, this rubric means truth tells the plain, meaning there is this kind of a person, she has no mask or she has no hiding. She will just speak as if whatever happens. Like my husband said this, I said this, this is the conversation very openly, very freely. This in this manner of speaking, we say truth tells the plain meaning as is the way they will just narrate it as the scene unfolded or as the situation unfolded. Now, her case, I have edited, I have concised it to bring out the key points. But when she spoke with me, her conversation was, my husband said this, then I said this, now this happened. It was exactly the way things happened. She was an honest girl, as we saw, because of she not being able to speak gave her a problem. She was very honest in her whatever she wanted to speak about. She's extravagance. She likes to spend. She likes to buy, shopping, and likes to give gifts. And her problem was precipitated by when she saw that she could not handle the shoot. The pressure of everything came up suddenly for her, and she was overwhelmed by the stress. Handle things cannot anymore, overwhelmed by stress. She's communicative, expansive, which also means the same as I spoke. She will elaborate, pulling on and talking very in great details. That is expansive. Elaborately, she will talk. Now, colors, desires. yes, that we've seen. She's really made it a point to, make us note that she likes red, green, blue color. She cannot resist colors. She has a strong sense of responsibility and she desires fruits, nuts, and chili. So the remedy I gave her was a beautiful one, Ara macau. I gave her a dose of 200 to be dissolved in half a cup of water and taken 1 teaspoon once a day for 3 consecutive days. So now let us understand what is this remedy, Ara macau. Ara macau or the scarlet macau is the most magnificent bird of the parrot family. Now, the feathers we all know are bright colored, bright red with yellow, orange, and blue colors. Now, they are territorial birds. Territorial meaning they have large territories and they are friendly birds. They live in a tropical rainforest of Central and South America. They are considered messengers of God by South Americans because of their distinct ability to speak in 2 languages. We all know that parrots can repeat whatever the man says, that their own and that of man's. They have that distinct ability to speak another language. They are quite talkative and keep chattering. We all know, like our patient, she likes to talk and she's very vivacious. They are quick to learn human sounds and intelligent to keep repeating them. So we know all these qualities of the parrot. Now, to understand the remedy, we need to, again, like how we do, is divide it into themes, the major themes, and understand how the whole picture unfolds. So the themes of the parrot are they have a strong sense of individuality. They need to speak their truth. They are honest people who need to be truthful. And if for some reason they are not able to do that, they are it causes a problem for them. It becomes an issue for them. So the rubric uh, that emphasize that bring home this theme are truth tells the plain, as we saw earlier. Truth speaks once, truth cannot. Delusion, double he is. Now, when he's not able to speak the truth, he feels he's living a double life, that he is somebody else, but he's not. He's supposed to become someone else who is not. So he feels a sense of duality in him. Mask, absence of. This is a very interesting rubric, meaning they do not hide, they do not have a mask, they cannot put on a makeup of being somebody who they inherently are not. And the reason why they are not able to speak the truth is because of cowardice and confrontation aversion too. They do not like quarrels or misunderstandings and fights. And when they are not able to speak the truth, what happens? They feel as if there is a split in themselves, that they have this divide which they feel unsettling. And now we'll see why are they not able to speak their truth? What is it that holds them? Then it brings us to the next theme of conformity. They need to conform to the group. As we saw, the parrots are territorial birds. So they need to the support or they need to conform to the group. We all see, parrots are always, we keep parrots in pairs. Normally, if we buy parrots, it's always you get 2 parrots at times. They like to the company. They like to be together. They are extroverted creatures and they have love. See the rubrics of love. Love people in the group form. So they consider their family, friends, and everybody as a part of the group and they have immense love for them. So that's the reason this lady also, she has like to buy gifts and, because she truly loves the people in her group. Love everybody around him for. Even when she's at the clinic, she's so loving, caring, for everybody around her. Love, falling in love easily and trusting. They are not suspicious or they don't hold back. They give easily and they are trusting people. Love drug as if taken. What an amazing rubric. Because of this intense feeling of love, they feel as if they're in a different world altogether, as if they've taken a love drug where they're feeling love for everybody around them. So there is laughing and they like to be interesting conversation, interesting talk. That is all they like. They have dreams of family, friends, reunions, and parents, which shows that they are highly social. They have this need for parties, get together. You come to my house, I'll come to your house. They have contact desire for real people and they're very fond of communication. For this lady also, she would always prefer to come to the clinic rather than some patients who would call over the telephone and tell their symptoms, or send a message on WhatsApp. She would like to come and talk. She says, I feel much better when I come and talk to you. And they like to be caressed. Parrots are friendly birds, very friendly with human, and they like to be caressed. So same comes out in the proving. And when they are in this world with people and in this loving environment, they feel everything is wonderful. They are also very helping people, and they have a strong sense of responsibility. Now, what is the conflict? What is the problem with such people who are so loving and trusting? Their problem starts when then they have some kind of an excitement, some mortification or embarrassment happens. And like in this case of this lady, she felt embarrassed that she took her husband's money, and she didn't like the whole thing. And because they are the and when she's giving so much and when they don't get back, that is the time they get, see, the delusion hit as if, meaning it hits them, then the reality hits them. Okay, I gave so much, I did so much, but then they don't get anything back. So delusion, reality, another off, when they start believing that the reality or the world I perceived is not actually so. Reality is completely different. Now, at that moment, they feel that they are on a roller coaster, meaning life is so unpredictable at times. It is so high when they are, when they feel that they have taken a love drug in that state, and suddenly they are all down where they feel that they feel this humiliation so painfully. There is cowardice, confrontation, aversion too. They do not like fights because they are so fond of these people. When if you've given so much love, you do not like to fight with these kind of your own family. So then they get into the state of sadness. Sadness lies curled up into a ball. If you remember how parrots sleep, their beaks are tucked into their feathers, and when they're resting or they are down, and they are and then when they sleep, so they become like a round colored ball. So stupefaction, as if intoxicated. They are stressed mentally and emotionally, and at that time they want to be quiet. And again the problem, or the conflict becomes is, truth speaks once, truth cannot. What they want to express, what they're feeling inside, they are not able to do that. As a part of personality, we know that they are charmed by colors. Red, blue, green, these are all the colors they are very fond of. And dreams are, for them, the dreams are also very colorful, bright, and vivid. They dream of tropical places. Now, like this lady who wants to own a bungalow in Goa, where there are a lot of palm trees. I'm sure she would love Kerala also, where there are so many, which is all green and tropical place. And there's a lot of extravagance she wants to spend on family or everybody. Passionate desires to be wildly. They're industrious. And appetite increase, eat often desires to. And because we all know parrots, they like to nibble all day long. So here also, like they want to eat small meals. And they like fruit, dry fruit, banana, sunflower seeds. And our patient being Indian, so she liked the chili pickle also. She wanted to have it with every meal. Now, what is the difference? What sets it apart from the other birds? Different from the falcon. We just saw the strong, intense falcon case. So, what is the difference from the falcon? The falcon is a solitary bird, but parrots like to live together in groups. The themes of abuse in the falcon are very strong. There is a lot of domination. So we see from the story or how they have been bred or how their life is, and the same thing comes out in the proving also, where they are abused, they are kept in captivity. There are strong themes of abuse. That is why they want to be independent. That is the story of the falcon. Now, the difference from raven is that now macau has issues with expression of his individuality in his group. That is its only issue, that he's not able to speak, or whatever he wants to say, he's not able to do that. Now, raven, which is the corvus, which is a crow family, is more about protecting of individuality than expression. There is more aggression, deceit, and cunningness. Crows are cunning. The raven uses its cunning ways to get an edge. These are the differences. Now, this is the follow-up of our patient. So as I told you, this case is very recent. It was in July. So I gave her the remedy somewhere in August. So in a few days only, because of the seminar, I wanted to have a follow-up for her. And I texted her, and she said it was the fourth day, meaning after taking the liquid for 3 days. She said the stress on the vocal cords feels relaxed, like 15%, because it was very recent. And this is our beautiful patient in a favorite color. So now let's see uh, the falcon, the macaws.
This is the last time these macaws will ever see the bars of a cage. The macaws are being released from the top of a hill, overlooking the forest canopy with plenty of fruiting trees. The hope is that they'll find food straight away and soon encounter members of the wild population. The team is making history. This is the first time in Guatemala that captive-bred scarlet macaws have been released into the wild. With these new individuals, the wild population has just increased by around 5%.
So this was what I had to share. And the message for what I would like to share is that, sometimes when we are stuck and, with common remedies do not work, it opens up in our world to newer, rarer remedies. Rarer in the sense that a remedy is rare when we have not used it. So let us, expand our repertoire, go all out and explore all the remedies which we have never shared earlier seen earlier. It'll be a beautiful experience. So I would be open to questions if there are any.
Thank you, Dr. Arshi, for a wonderful session, and the correlation between the human and the birds was beautiful. So anyone who wish to ask any question to Dr. Arshi, please message in the YouTube as well as in the Zoom participant chat group. We will pick up the question and then we will ask on behalf of you to Dr. Arshi. Dr. Neha, you can start from YouTube if you have any.
No, so I think we're just expecting the questions now.
Meanwhile, till the questions are being put up, is it okay if I share a few themes of the birds and kind of put the correlation between them? Is it okay if I share those?
I got one question, Dr. Arshi, is where to get the provings and the medicine for this bird group?
Yes. Yes, even I had a lot of difficulty getting the medicines. Falcon is available, But Ara Macau, in fact, I had to borrow it, and I'm in the process of getting it from, because of the lockdown. I could borrow it from a colleague, but then I am trying to get the remedy. Yes, this is a difficult thing. Sometimes you're not able to get the remedy, but and yes, the provings are available in Jonathan Shore's book, Birds, Shore's Birds.
Can you share the pic of the book?
I do not have the picture. It is available. The book is there in the MAC repertory, reference works library. The provings are available. Jonathan Shore is the author. You can look up his books on birds, has a lot of provings, especially his the proving on falcopy and all of that. And the newer provings for remedies which we have not tried and we want to read up are provings.com is a site which has from which you can read up provings of rare remedies. Provings.com.
Okay, doctor. Anyone wanted to ask any question, please write up in the chat box.
Yeah, same question coming up, which repertory and which proving. So I think that is answered.
Yes.
Should we wait for ma'am, any WhatsApp group where you share cases? Dr. Arshi, can you share your email ID or a phone number, or if someone has any query, they can directly ask you for any query, like if you want to share your email ID or
Yes,
yeah.
yes. You can write down my should I put it down in the chat box? Will I be able to?
Yeah, that will be great. Otherwise, you can put, if you have a slide. Otherwise, you can share on the chat box. Right?
Wait a minute. Yes, I'll write it down. Yes.
Dr. Neha, anything you found in the YouTube?
No, similar proving related questions were there. There is one question that's come up right now is how would you differentiate it from phosphorus?
So, see, differentiation can happen. Yeah, this lady, like I said, in fact, I had given her belladonna. Phosphorus would be, yes, not only on the type of personality. See, the reason for coming to the remedy is you cannot be prescribing on a personality type. Yes, her personality was more like belladonna, if you ask me. Very light and airy, light-hearted, and this kind. Yes, it can be phosphorus also, but we are not prescribing on the personality type. We are prescribing on the theme. What is her area of conflict? When we zero into her problem, what exactly her problem is, then we understand it, and then the remedy will be perfect.
Correct.
Very true. One more question: how many bird medicines are available in the market?
There are a lot of birds available. And I have beautiful cases of birds also, which I get when I get a chance to, I will share. There is Corvus, or the raven, that the crow remedy. Then there is Cygnus for patients of grief, a lot of grief. You must have seen in the repertory when we read up. There is peacock. There are a lot of beautiful bird remedies available. And the reason for identifying the bird is there has to be some themes which resonate. First is, how do you prescribe bird remedies? If you have to ask me, is first is we see there is, okay, what are in the sensation method? If we see, we come to the first themes. There is this theme of domination. This dominates me or whatever. So we first come to an animal theme. From there, we identify features, common features of birds. What are the common features of birds? And then we kind of zero into what kind of bird the patient would actually need. So actually, if you want to ask me what are the themes of the birds, in very short, if I have to say that the themes for the birds are, they have a need for the group. There is a theme of being dependent and independent. They want their independence. See, birds as a creature, they are, free, floating, and they are independent, they're up in the sky, they like to be that way. But for their needs, for their food, they have to come to the ground, they cannot be in the sky all the time. So similarly, as keeping this analogy in mind, we have in the bird people are always, they are very vivacious kind of people, they are intelligent beings, they are, and they have this strong sense of independence, they want to be away, meaning that free floating, they want their independence. But because of household responsibilities, because of some issues, they have a strong sense of responsibility. When they feel that they are too bound by the household responsibilities, they have to care for an ailing member, they do want to do that, they, because of the strong sense of responsibility. But then after a point, when it becomes too much, then, and it compromises on their independence, that is the time where they feel that I'm suffocated, it is binding me, it is, I feel trapped in the situation, it is so much of suffocation, and what they want to do is escape from it. I want to just, this is the expression, I want to just fly, leave all this and just go away somewhere. Why will your hands fly out like this? So that is a bird way of speaking, that yes, I want to break free, I want to just go away. So this is a major theme of the birds. And the language, the manner in which they speak is also always very, they will give you certain features which are very bird-like themes. So they have this desire for open, they do not like cities, there's so many people in the, cities, all crowded. One of my bird patients says, I hate Bombay, how are you even living here? So apartments are there's so much of crowd, I cannot be here. They want to be in the open, they prefer the countryside and that open spaces. All these are the bird themes, they need their theme. There are sensation of being heavy versus light. When then I said, I feel so heavy, and then I want to feel light. These are also bird themes. The common differentiation which we get is with the hammer melody family, very strongly. There are some themes of heavy and light. These are the themes which are very common in hammer melody family. Also, we need to very carefully then differentiate birds from there. But in birds, there is a lot of theme of domination, of being suppressed, or someone is doing this to me. So that is an animal kind of a theme. So that is how we can zero into the birds.
One more question that someone is asking, where we will get these bird remedies, in any particular store, any particular company you can suggest?
If it is most authentic, this thing is from Helios. We get it in Helios from UK. We have to get it, otherwise we have to keep looking for sources. Sometimes we all have to keep finding, ask colleagues and try to find remedies. There is no authentic source which I can say that yes, you can get from this place. I try to get my remedies, I I either borrow from colleagues, or I try to get it from UK Helios.
One more interesting question. In case of bird, is there a male or female bird remedy will differ with each other in the symptom?
Not at all. Not at all. I don't think so. It would make much of a difference, even the species, because if at all, if you look at that way, so there are, if you have a parrot, it could be parrot, Indian parrot, or, outside. But by and large, what I've seen is the major themes remain the same. Yes, there could be a little bit here and differences here and there. We cannot be nitpicking and, getting to so much accuracy.
Okay, Dr. Arshi, that's all for the question answer series. Anyone still wanted to ask? Neha, is there anything on the YouTube side?
There is one question here on YouTube that it says that many birds and animals are dominated and caged. Why this trapped feeling is not there in all of them?
See, one trapped feeling, each patient, you cannot have one trapped feeling in all of them. You cannot standardize, the same kind of feeling. Probably, if you go deeper into the cases, maybe you would get some kind of a feeling here and there. But it is not necessary that all of them are going to be, it is the way we look at it. If we are looking from this angle, they could have one aspect of the bird case, and the trap thing would be absolutely missing. We do not need to have all the features in one. Now, when we are talking of birds being very vivacious, generally, where was our falcon patient? We saw how grumpy and, always unhappy. So she was not a vivacious kind of person. So that little differentiation is going to be there.
Right, right. So I think that's ends with the question and answer session. I would like to thank you, Dr. Arshi, for this wonderful session that you have given. Generally, whenever there are some beautiful speakers, and we are so much in awe that you don't know, you just remain in that influencing level, and you don't know what to do. But I think you taught us very well that how to learn from our own mistakes, and even when you do mistakes, you fail, there is still a lot of hope. So that actually inspires me a lot, and I'm sure it inspires all of us here. Uh, Also, you've taken a very nice group of remedies, this caged feeling or this trapped feeling. And this is so true in the COVID times. I'm sure these remedies will be now given commonly around us, because we are all, in the lockdown, we are so trapped. I'm sure many of us have this feeling of being trapped
Yes,
and
that's
or
very
caged.
true, very true.
So I'm
And
sure you
feeling of
taught us
suffocation.
yeah, a suffocation. So I think we will be able to apply these remedies very soon in our practice. So I think that was really nice of today's session. I would also
And
like to,
also, yes, being so dominated by the boss, or people who are working from home,
yeah, or
dominated
even
by the
at
boss, or
home,
dominated by the circumstances.
or even at
Yes, that's
home,
very,
because otherwise you face those people for very few hours, and suddenly you're facing them for 24 hours. So
that's
yeah,
very
it's a very,
true.
yeah. I would also like to
Yeah.
thank Dr. Nisha. She actually guessed the padded remedy before you disclosed. So I would like to
Oh, wonderful.
congratulate one of the viewer. Yes. So
Mm.
yeah, thank you, Dr. Arshi, for this wonderful session. Thank
Thank
you, IHMA for organizing such a wonderful series. This lockdown has been really fruitful for all of us. And thank you, Dr. Sonal, for hosting this session.
Dr. Arshi, you wanted to say something before you finish, just before the question answer session, you wanted to ask say something. I
No,
cut your.
no. I just wanted to, say that, whatever bird themes, or, this thing which I think I shared in a very short, because birds is a very vast topic. So maybe one of these days when we have the time, we will cover all the themes in detail. Maybe I could share a few of my more bird cases which I have. That could be interesting learning. And when we see more cases, obviously then we can make a connection, see the similarities and the patterns emerging, then we get a better idea. So I didn't want to cover all the birth themes because it would be very theoretical then. I would want them, people to see so many cases and then see, yes, what is the common pattern in all of them. That makes so much more sense.
Okay, round about how many birds remedies are there in all?
Maybe, yes, I'll get in touch with you, and then we will have another session maybe soon then.
Sure, sure. Uh, so this here we are signing off the session, and thank you so much for coordinators, Dr. Deepu, Dr. Ahmed, Dr. Sudin Kumar, everyone, Dr. Neha, and Dr. Arshi, and hope you all like the session. And if you like, there is one tomorrow we have a session of Dr. B.D. Patel on PCOD aggressive than cancer. So please do watch this session sharp at 8:30 p.m. on YouTube Live and Zoom and Facebook Live. And here I am signing off. And thank you very much all the participants for attending the session. Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.